Excuse me. Morning, guys. It's 6:53 and first trade of the day under my belt. Yesterday I didn't get to make any trading videos, but there were plenty of them, plenty trades I mean, but I did have a little bit of a lay-in yesterday, and it does throw my system. I shouldn't do it, but friends all over the world, so it's a question of chatting to them when they're available, and it tends to go on late into the night. So looks a bit like Spaghetti Junction again today. And there was a bit of a problem because there was a ton of I picked GJ, this is GJ, pound yen, ton of levels ahead of the price where I wanted to go, and this is where sort of the trend analysis came in. So I started on the monthly, did all the levels on the monthly that might affect the price, which was virtually none. As you can see, we're here, massive monthly candle ahead of us, or behind us should I say, and clearly looking at this, we'd had a low high high low high 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 low lower high lower low lower high lower low, and close below the previous the candle that started the uptrend, as it were. So massive bearish sign, and it was no surprise that this crashed. It was a surprise how far it crashed, but that's coronavirus and all these various events that are going on. But not a lot to be gleaned from that, apart from the fact that be careful if you're going to go long, because the pound is decidedly weak. Then clearly we could attach the highs on here and have a descending trend line. But all I'm really worried about is the highs and lows of candles at this stage. So we had to put high and low on that candle, high and low on the current candle, because if it's got a wick, then that's obviously created, and if you're a novice, that's a wick there. It's created a push down here, say for example, and then it's the buyers have stepped in and pushed the price up. So current candle is okay to do. Sentiment from the current candle is bullish, obviously, on the weekly, where the bears pushed it down, the bulls have pushed it up and turned it green. Not a lot else you can tell, as I say. So all of these can have highs and lows on, but to build your trading plan, if you like, for a longer period. But I'm only interested in what was going on between now and 7 o'clock in the morning, so we've got 4 minutes to go. So we need daily highs drawn on here on every candle that may, or every level rather, that may affect the price. So we can even put something on the current daily candle here, which is under these white lines. I'm sorry for that. Then the next one, because we know if it's going to go any further, it's got to break out of there, and if we know if it's going to go down, it's got to break out of there. Simple as that. Then previous levels, because this one and this one will still be affected by anything that's above them, and if they fail to close above, which this one clearly did fail to close above the previous candle, so it means the bulls have pushed it up, the bears have won again, the sellers, and we're going to have another go potentially. So that's where just pure candlestick highs and lows are worthwhile, in my opinion. We have to go on to the left hand side as well and make sure this lot aren't going to be affected by something right over there, and there is an obvious reason why price pushed up here and failed to go any higher, and that will be on the left hand side. I hope that is clear. Excuse me. Again, we're green, so bullish. Now at this point, as you can see, we start to clearly see what's ahead of us. We've got a ton of resistance above, but it is attacking it strongly, as you can see. Then we get these pullbacks, and then monster power bars, if you like, and then a pullback. So it definitely looks like they want to send it higher. And here's good point for the disclaimer: never trade anything I talk about on these videos. Always just trade your own analysis. Right, we can connect that and that because this high has been broken by this new high, so that makes that a valid resistance line. As such, when this comes back, this could act as a target for your trade, providing everything else stacked up, your candlestick analysis and this, or it will potentially be a bounce point, which will tie up with these lows and so on and so forth here. So it's worth drawing them in at this point, because the price can go anywhere, as you know. So let's stick a low on there. So that then creates a confluence point, if you like, of the trend line and the low, and the other one below it, because if it does break that, then that's a good target to target the price, or a good place, should I say, to target take profit in a short trade. I hope it's becoming quite clear now. So yeah, drawn all the levels in, so you can see why I was a little bit concerned about going long. Saying that, we've got a clear break and close above this level, so on this H4 time frame, it has definitely done something interesting throughout all this resistance. Shouldn't make a difference to a scalper. I've just taken advantage of the gap between these two levels here. So I should have said drag the trade on. I should have said I've taken a long. I'm not trying to tease anyone or anything, but there again, it might be a good thing, because it makes you wonder where I did take my trade and what I did do. So stick it on there. Excuse me. H1 we have to do the same, because an H1 high is massively significant. Now you can see what's happened here. This is a high, the low, the lower high, the lower low on H1, and this was just an attack of this level. Low, high, higher low, higher high, and carry on singing the song until you get a break and close above that level, which happened at exactly the hour. We're at 7 o'clock now, so it's just happened. Like I always say, I do not want to be carrying a trade over the hour flip, as it were, from the 1 hour to the next hour. Just like daily day traders don't want to be really carrying trades across the overnight changeover, which happens at 2200 hours in the UK, 10 o'clock in the evening. That's hopefully now it's been made quite obvious, and I'm not a top and bottom picker, so I wouldn't want to be at this stage anyway, especially not teaching it, because it's worthless. There's no method or system there apart from just chart time and experience. But that has just crashed. How many pips has that dumped in minutes? So if you want to trade the hourly crossover, then that's a different strategy in itself, but that's roughly 18 pips, 16 or 17 pips, whatever, in minutes. Well, in less than a minute actually. So be aware, think about closing your trade. If you're going for 10 pips and it's coming up to the hourly change, you know, if you've got 2 or 3, bank them. Alright, so that's an hourly confirmation to the long side. Where was it in relation to the H4? H4, well, it's weakening, turning from green to red, red to green rather, and so on and so forth, swapping over. You can see that big move now that's going on. H4 high was above me, this candle here, which I've drawn the level in. So, you know, much the same as my trend song, as it were, high, low, lower, high, low, low. We know categorically we've got to get above that H4 high there, which is why we draw the H4s on, and which is why I love them so much, because they offer fantastic targets in terms of size, because they're a big old candle. They've got to be broken through for it to continue, or either direction. So yeah, if you've got one of those 15 pips above you and you've got clear air, then it's a good target this time of day. Again, because this is the volatile period of day, we've got the Frankfurt gang are just sat at their desks and ready to press the button when the DAX, the DE30, call it what you like, this thing here, opens up. Supposedly at 7 o'clock, but really I think it just opens for orders. It's open all night anyway, so all the orders get pushed in at 7, same as the FTSE at 8. Be prepared for massive volatility, and I don't know for sure, this is getting into fundamentals, but you know, if you're going to buy stocks and shares, you've got to sell something. You've got to buy them with dollars, so you're swapping dollars for stocks. That's why the volatility comes into the market, but you could be doing it with euros, so don't trade the dollar on the strength of what I've just said, but that is the common held view. Here's a low that's been broken by this low, so we could continue that ascending trend line up to the top of there. Really doesn't make any difference to what we're doing here. Again, the break of the descending I should say, the break of the descending trend line was significant. Pound looks like it's tanking now. I do use this when I entered my trade. The yen was absolutely mega weak and the pound was strong. The pound is still strong, so what does that tell us, guys? You know, have a look at another couple of pairs quickly. I did analyse cable, but not on this particular chart. I open and close different charts, because if I do yen and delete any of the stuff from the objects list, then obviously it deletes them on all of your charts. So when you do this sort of across the board delete, I mean, so be careful of that. Always open new charts rather than relying on this if you're doing your analysis, otherwise all your hard work will disappear. So this could still be bullish. If it's going to go down, it's got to negate this high, low, lower, high, lower, low. It's got to negate this current confirmation to the long side, which it looks like it's trying to do already, and which is why, whereas I wasn't going for shorts, now I need to put the short, the levels underneath this on this pound chart. Hope this makes sense. I'm trying to reduce how many lines are on the chart, but so I wasn't interested in attempting to go short this morning. I just got down to my hourly and decided that I wanted to take the trade long. Now if this is reversing, then it needs to close below here and then expect a little pullback, or so if it closed here, expect it to pull back to the nearest H1 low, not necessarily the one it's just broken, well, not necessarily the one that's significant, but could be anything lower. So it's always worth putting those in, because again, if you're considering shorts, you need to make sure you haven't got any noise in front of you, really. And it's so that's why it's worth doing this analysis on numerous charts. You're looking for the best gap, really. You don't have to know anything about this. Doesn't have to enter into your trading. You just want a clean gap to profitability. So looking at the long trade again, 30-minute. We've clearly got a swing trade in place here now on this 30-minute. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high. So it made the higher high when I entered my price, broken that level there with price. We can look at it on the line chart. You can clearly see low, high, higher, low. You don't have to sing the song with this one, of course. We're worried about that breaking there. So you go low, high, and then diddle, and then higher high. Come back, use that high as support, and it continues on. Because of the time of day, what I call the grinding period, that's why I disregarded these levels, because they will force it up somewhere in order to crash it, which is exactly what they've done. So it's good that I'm making this video and watching the price action. Grind it up, take it to a level you think. I haven't got Sweet Spot Gold on here. I should have it on here. So once again, I keep forgetting to update that. Oh, it is on. Sorry, 150 levels. Yeah, 50s. It's probably, I haven't set it up to show on this particular time frame. So there's the 134 level. We'll have the 134.50 level above us. Again, no reason to target that. I just grabbed 9 pips this morning, and that was it. Not quite double my normal. If I'd been a bit braver, I could have got 12 or 13 pips out of this. There was no reason to it. Once again, the resistance levels above. The reason for attacking resistance levels is because in order to continue up, it has to close and break above them. I much prefer trading to support levels, to be honest with you, because support, in order to support, once broken, acts as resistance. So when it was down here before I'd woken up this morning, that was a no-brainer to trade to. An H4 low has to be tested to see whether it hold as resistance or whether it was fair value. Google that. This thing is crazy, because I'm still long biased. The reason being, we are we are strongly above that zero line. We've even broken the 20 level there. So this, to me, just looks like a pullback before a continuation. But we've got a lot of trouble ahead of us. But remember, this old support, H4 support, has not held as resistance. I wonder what's going on. We've got quite a way. We've got 2 hours, well, 1 hour 10 minutes rather, until the close of the bar, the 4-hourly bar. And on the 4 hour, this is important as well. This is why, sorry guys, I do waffle on a little bit in these videos, because there is so much that you have to think about. The 4 hours held, and it's critical, the 4 hour. So it's no good looking at that H1 thing and the 4 hours broken. It hasn't. The 4 hours old support has held as resistance as we stand. So in 1 hour 12 minutes, or 1 hour whatever it is, 1 hour 12 minutes, we want to be sure that the H4 is broken above. If it has, then expect it to potentially come back again, which can be traded, of course. That's why I love this method so much. It takes a while to get your head around it all, but all you've got is flat lines. Look for gaps, rely on the histo. That is massively powerful, and I'm glad I've put that on there. Not so much for my benefit, although I love it and I use it a lot now, because it allows a little bit of laziness, to be honest with you. I trust this so much now, having only had it on the charts for 2 or 3 months, or 3 or 4 months, or whatever it is now, whereas my previous indicator that I compared this with in order to build up my confidence with it was on my charts, on and off of my charts, for 15 years. And that's it. I've tried everything else, but when I test a new indicator, I always test it against tried and tested analysis methods, such as my candlestick reversals and such like, to ensure that they are giving the same message at exactly the same time. So they are really messing around with this price at the moment on this pair. But it is the beast, or the dragon, so be careful, guys. And that is precisely why I do not want to be involved in trades at the changeover of the hour, because this thing has crashed 30 pips plus. In fact, no, sorry, there's the low there, 40 pips plus. That's bonkers. Nice if you trade that, because you've banked 40 pips in minutes, or whatever, 25, 30 pips in minutes, the meat of the move. So that's the strategy in its own right. They've come down, tested that 134 level. Probably all traders that entered long here, potentially retail traders, might have had their stops down there. Not me. I would have had my stops below a resistance level, because what do we know about resistance levels? They are areas that get tested and it potentially bounces off them. So no need to have massive stops with this method either. Okay, I've waffled on enough. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Oh, I should explain the entry, I suppose, to this. I mean, it was just a question of waiting for a break of the 20 on the RSI. Plus, we've got a trend reversal here. This candle was the reversal on that high, low, lower high, lower low. We don't worry about that lower high situation there. All we're worried about is the break there. And it was a double break before my entry, so we've got a high, low, lower, high, lower, low, low, high, lower, higher, low, higher, high, and close. And then that belt and braces, boom. It was an absolute no-brainer. Little bit of drawdown. Nothing to massively worry about, providing I got my take profit before the hour. And it did. You know, it does what I say it does on the tin. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.